Technology, the greatest growling engine of change. In the modern era, our lives are so intermingled with technology that the thought of a mere day without it is unimaginable. Pondering upon the same for a while will lead to the realization that our life today hinges on the advancement and existence of technology. Greetings, everyone. Welcome to the fourth episode of Quantum, Team Quantum's very own talk show. I am Bhuvi Pandey, the team manager.
And I'm Himanshu Sharma, the design engineer. Today, we have with us Dr. Manish Kumar, who will be giving us useful insights on the topic technology. Sir is an associate professor in the Department of Information Technology in the Indian Institute of Information Technology, Allahabad. His areas of interest include wireless sensor networks, data management, and big data analytics. Quite evidently, Sir is a great technology enthusiast, and his valuable inputs in technology will certainly help us all in our future endeavors as well as throughout the course of the competition. Here's what you can expect.
Let me tell you one thing. Stock market is a place or is an organization where actually only data is not working. Apart from data, it is actually driven by some political news also. It is driven by some top leaders' statement also. See, as far as data engineering is concerned, you know that it's actually trending right now. Uh, Industry as well as academia all are working in this area. Go ahead.
So, sir, you are an individual associated with the field of data engineering. So, what is the importance of data in the modern era and what are its applications in fields like marketing?
See, as far as data engineering is concerned, you know that it's actually trending right now. Uh, Industry as well as academia all are working in this area. Recently, I think in Triple IT also we have started MTech, like Master of Technology in Data Engineering. Whereas I think across world, if you see uh, the institutes and universities of top repute also, they have also started this particular domain. So that means it is very important these days that you deal with some data, informations, knowledge, and all. So it's you can say that data is the new oil in upcoming knowledge economy. Okay. As far as uh, marketing application in marketing is concerned, uh, there are lot many applications, and not only in recent time, but it was actually maybe 10 years, 20 years back. If you see, let me tell you that this mining, data engineering or mining part was actually came in around I think 90s, but initially it was not accepted by the like you can say the research community. Then around I think in 2000 around maybe 99 or 2000 around, when actually this data uh, part came in, uh, like social media came in picture, then uh, the internet becomes an integral part of students and as well as industry. So when this all these came, then what was actually experienced is that we are actually gathering lot many data and huge data you can say, but we are not actually looking for the knowledge out of that data, rather just we are storing the data. Always remember that what we have like database management system and all these database management systems were actually uh, or still be created on the basis of applications only. So we need to focus on the subjects so that we can get the knowledge out of it. So that actually drive us towards this data mining, somebody says data harvesting, somebody says uh, archaeology and all. So there are so many names out of that. The market is the one which actually attracts you a lot. And if we look on the application in market, then the first important application is market basket analysis, which actually we all experienced in day-to-day life also. I think most of you have visited this Big Bazaar or Spencer or Walmart or something like that. Like these are retail market available across the city. We are not aware of that. Actually, what we are doing in that market, actually we are scanned out there. People are scanning us without disturbing us also. That means whatever I am purchasing it, whatever I am putting in my basket is actually very important for the market. And they are actually doing some sort of mining on that particular basket itself. And you'll be surprised that after doing mining of the customer's basket, they actually do a lot many things. They do self-management based on that. They do demand management. They do inventory management. Uh, they improve entire marketing strategies. They actually get more, like they actually get, or they actually increase their profits as well. So this market basket analysis is actually done on the baskets of customers. So it may be that if I can go for a data of say 1 month customers data, where actually only two things are there, that customer ID and the items purchased by you, because we are not, like, the markets are not gathering any personal information from you. So out of that, and such databases are actually, such data is actually referred as transactional data, you know. And then if you look on 1 month data, then it's a huge data you have. And then you mine it, and based on the purchase, you can say the pattern of the customers, you can always manage yourself, manage your inventory, manage your demands, manage your lot many things out of it, and actually that improve your profit as well. Okay, I can give you an example, that suppose the market founds that, okay, in Delhi, say in your area, Saket, there is a big bazaar, and they found that in last 1 month, X and Y two items were purchased by most of the customers. Okay, so what they do is they may change the self management in two ways. One is that they put the X and Y item together. Then certainly, even if you are not like interested to take both the item, you are just going for one item, say X or Y. But if you see that the other item is just be there, then you pick that item also, even if that is not in your list. This is one, you can say, improvement is there. And another case is that I can put X and Y in two corners. So what will happen is that certainly you will travel from one corner to another corner just to have the another item, because that is in your list now. And like just moving from one corner to another corner, you are picking so many items without having those items in your list, because in some items they are giving some discounts, in some items they are giving that, okay, take two, one will be free, something like that, and we just pick the items like anything. So that way, just to have using the pattern of the customers, just to look on the associations of the items which the customers are going for, I have used that small informations, and I have just used it, and I just got the profit. So such applications are possible only by data engineering. Okay, not only this market basket analysis is only the part. You know that these days we are doing all stock exchange predictions are done. Even there are few starters which actually doing this part. Stock exchange is your market. People are doing customer, you can say segmentation also. You are actually trying to learn the customer behavior also. Like a lot many surveys are going on. Like if you go in malls, in say in retail markets, then you will find that people are actually giving you some form and say, okay, can you please fill up these, where actually they are just keeping it, what is your age, what is your income level, what is your interest, what you're liking, disliking, and all. So, and they are gathering it and they do it. They do sort of mining on those data, and they come up with the some sort of pattern which actually the market can use it. Okay, so it's very useful. And in, I think I can tell you that in today's world we are actually drowning in data. Huge data is coming. Like if you look on data, what do you say? Sometimes you say data, sometimes you say large data, sometimes you say big data as well, which is coming. Like the big data, like you can say, if you look on astronomy and all, the data they are producing in petabytes and zettabytes and all. Okay, if you look on Google, if you look on Twitter, you know, in Twitter what you're like 3.5 millions of tweets you are producing in a minute. Yeah. So huge amount of data you are producing. So you need to figure out that how to use such a huge data. Uh, Certainly, we have to be very much cautious in that, because there are cases like privacy will be coming in that way. So we have to preserve that also. And certainly, we can make use of those data. We can extract some patterns which might be useful for the business, and obviously it might be useful for your society as well. So I think that that will answer your question.
Yes, sir, that was a very insightful and a very knowledgeable answer. And we got to know that even a small action taken by these users is very imperative in different businesses to increase their origins.
So just a follow up to your previous question, you talked about stock markets and the implementation of various data mining algorithms and data analysis algorithms on that. Some people say that stock market is really unpredictable and even certain algorithms don't work on it. So could you please elaborate on the accuracy of this data analysis on stock markets and big data analysis in this field?
Oh, yes. See, uh, as far as accuracy is concerned, like in view, like when you implement or some algorithm in stock market, let me tell you one thing. Stock market is a place or is an organization where actually only data is not working. Apart from data, it is actually driven by some political news also. It is driven by some top leaders statement also. Even it is driven by some incident or accident happened in the country or something like that. So it actually, there are, apart from data which actually is available as a historical data for you, for all the companies which you are looking for, these are also the factors which is actually additionally working for stock ups and downs and all. So when we are actually trying to mine such or trying to predict stock prices using some algorithms, so what we do is we are actually feeding all the features of the data. We are not able to feed these all factors which is actually coming additionally from outside. Okay, so if nothing, if suppose there is no factors involved, in that period the algorithm will work well. And in some cases also, even if suppose that there are some factors which is actually already recorded in the data in past, and if the same set of factors are actually repeating, then also we can actually grab that part. But if something is new, it is hard to grab it. Okay. So that is the thing which comes in stock market prediction. Accuracy, uh, I can tell you that uh, in today's world, accuracy is quite good. Not good only, it is quite very good as well, because there are you can see that nowadays there are so many tools are available. There are so many companies are operating on this, on real time predictions also. And and I think most of us, like suppose your father or uh, anybody who is actually doing investing money in the market, they are not investing money market just blindly. They are just seeing the predictions. They are just looking on the predictions, and then accordingly they do investments and all. And yeah, in some cases your predictions might not be correct, but in most of the cases it is approaching to the high accuracy as well. So that is what happening. Okay.
Thank you, sir. That's definitely a really interesting segment of technology and data analysis. We were also fascinated to know that you were the advisor to Allahabad City, a smart city project. Could you
Yeah.
please give us a basic insight about the initiative and what factors make a smart city?
Yeah. See, the focus of any sort of like if you look on smart city project and all, so we always like that government is actually looking for sustainable and inclusive development. Okay. uh, what does it mean is certainly you look for that there must be some adequate water supply. There must be uh, you can say adequate public transport also. You look for sanitization. You look for electricity. You look for say that there must be some digitization of the services which is available across the city and all. You look for good governance, safety. Okay, everything you look for. So all these actually, when you say that a particular, or say, uh, Prayagraj is well aware of all these facilities, and they are actually giving facilities to the society as well, and we witness those facilities, then it becomes, you can say, smart city sort of thing. Okay. Obviously, smart city is not only that you'll go for a very shining roads and the markets are big enough and all. Rather than organization is most important. That okay, fine, roads are very good, but does those roads are organized? What does it mean? Does that the traffic of those roads are organized or not? If the roads are available, very good roads are available, but still you are stuck in those roads for a long durations, in traffic jams and all, then that is the part where actually we have to contribute. That how to manage the traffic, how to divert the traffic, how to manage all those red signals points and all, how to manage the part where actually some sort of, say, theft is there, say, like somebody took away your car also, how to trace back those cars and all. I can tell you one example of Prayagraj city. During one meeting, it was actually uh, recited. There was a chain snatching case held by one motor. I think two persons were held in that, in one motorcycle, and they snatched it. So just just we are just tracing that particular snatcher by camera installed in all the intersection points. Okay, so the police actually tracked those two persons, and those two person actually almost gone outside of the city. But since the camera was installed in the outskirts also, so this snatcher was actually uh, caught by police, and the case was solved. That so this is one example of that facility. That since your camera is installed in throughout the city, in all the corners, in all the places where actually people are moving and markets are going on, so it actually gives you ease in some of the things. This is a big thing that uh, say a snatcher actually does something, say 10 kilometers away from where it was that particular person was caught. This happened due to this one, this infrastructure. So this is the goal of the Prayagraj, any smart city. Huh. The thing is, uh, it should not be only facility oriented rather than society oriented as well. Because not only you can think of that, okay, we need something big buildings, we need some markets, which is actually modern enough, but you have to think about even to the society as well, because almost in India, you know that we are actually a very city, we are actually living in a diversity, because in a same city people are very poor also, we are average also, high class also, even there are some high earning people also. So when you look for such upliftment or modernization or facility oriented city, then you have to look on the society as well, because it should not hurt the society as well. Why I am saying this, because I have experienced this part in the meeting itself. You know, when advisory committee is not only technical peoples were involved or are involved. This advisory committee involves the persons from all, you can say all corners, maybe political, maybe all parties, institutions, industry, army, administration, academics. So it's a, you know, this advisory committee consists of people like maybe 50 plus numbers in numbers, and all these 50 plus numbers people are actually from all corners of the society, and it is not easy to implement something which is not acceptable by that advisor. Because when you look for, okay, if once I say that, okay, fine, I just want this, remove that particular what do you know, jhopalpatti, and we'll clean that, and we'll come up with some sort of modern equipments putting out there, something like that, say park you are looking for to be developed there. So it might be a good idea, but since it is involved that a set of people will be removed from that place. So obviously, being a technical person, I might not be concerned. Being an administrative person, he might not be concerned. But the moment any, say, some NGO person is sitting out there, he will raise the question: why? Where will they? Where will they go? Would you go for some sort of giving them some space somewhere? So, smart city projects talks about people, society as entirely. It's not only the beautification of the city, it's talk about the upliftment of entire city, entire society. And at the same time, you look for what you say, that having good water facility, electricity facility, transport, governance, safety. Movement safety is one of the prime, say, important component of any smart city and all. So I think these are the initiatives which uh, fortunately I'm also involved in such initiatives. So I think it's a good initiative. Only the thing is, since looking on the way we are actually living in the society, uh, fast development is not possible. Only the thing is, slowly we can move forward, and certainly I can tell you that after some times we will be able to do that, and we have done it. Like Prayagraj is one of the most, I think you can say in UP it is I think not at number spot is I think third or fourth number is there uh, in terms of fast progress and implementation of all initiatives. Okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Smart cities are definitely the future of the new India, and technologies like wireless sensor will definitely improve security in the coming years. As you mentioned, it is a commendable initiative taken by the government, and hopefully, in the coming few years, it will be extended beyond Prayagraj and the other Indian cities as well. Moving forward to the next.
Let me tell you one thing, that it is not only the few cities are we are actually considered as smart city right now. I think I'm not well aware of the numbers, but I think more than 100 cities are in that list across India.
Oh, okay, sir. That's great.
Yes, actually, smart city concept is in different category also. Like metro cities are actually, uh, I think probably in the top, I think priority, like Delhi and Chennai, Mumbai, big cities you can say. But after that, there is cities like which is actually from states like say capital of the states, and there are few cities which are actually in some way very important. Like Prayagraj is very important if you look on the cultural view and say traditions, because you know Prayagraj is very much famous for Kumbh. Okay, so if you get any chance, come to Allahabad, you'll find that the Allahabad has actually changed the entire, you can say, look. If you compare it pre-Kumbh and after Kumbh, okay, which was I think which held I think in 2019 itself. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So that actually very important. So in like all the cities has importance in terms of different you can say theme. There are some cities which is good for tourism. There are some cities which are good for industry. There are some cities which are good for administrations and all. There are cities which are good for some other things. So it is actually the smart city concept comes with a theme, that in what theme you should go ahead with that. Okay.
Yes, sir. That was a very new insight that I got into the concept of smart cities. I was not aware of it earlier. Moving forward to the next question. Making use of technology in the most efficient way possible is a very complex process. So many people know the underlying concept behind a particular technology, yet some products turn out to be better than the rest. So, what is the methodology through which we can utilize technology and its applications to the maximum so that we get the best outcome out of it?
Okay. This is very typical, I think, question, and it is very good question. I can say to you. What we actually look out of technology is these days we are looking for innovations. Okay. Uh, then the question is, what is innovation by the way? So you can say that innovation is something which uh, people are actually trying to introduce new in business. Okay. Uh, it not in all the cases it might not be only new, but improving or replacing some sort of existing business processes could also be innovation, which actually increases the productivity. Okay. If you look that how this technology could be used as a whole, I can give you an example which is actually you might be aware of that. Take the example of Amazon. You know that Amazon was actually initiated as a bookstore probably. Okay. So it was just selling of books were initiated in initial initiation of this Amazon. Later on, they have come up with concept of online marketing. Then these days they are doing so many things. They are doing businesses in music also. They are doing businesses in video also. Amazon is one of the famous OTT platform these days. Okay, so what they actually did is they have started with one sort of say ambition or one sort of goal of say marketing of some specific things, say books and all, and they have expanded year by year, just integrating the technology in the system. Okay, not all the companies have the capability to do that. Only the thing is you have to have such sort of, you can say, futuristic view or futuristic steps which can lead to such initiatives. Okay, so this is one example which actually talks about that how the technology can be used or exploited like anything to get the business expansion in a way that you know that the profit level of Amazon is quite, I think, in top notch in if you compare with others in the world. So that is what very important. What they did is actually they provided you online music, they provided you online video, streaming of online video. All these involves technology advancement because it is not easy to do that. Okay. Uh, Now they have entered in all types of selling items like say grocery, say uh, clothes, say electronics, anything. I think probably almost all the items you can get from Amazon. Is it? So your
Listen,
what is the idea behind this technology involvement in your business is that as far as possible, try to grab the opportunity, see that what sort of technology can actually contribute in that part, and go for the implementation. Yeah, certainly, uh, the implementation requires some good people to be there. Good people means who actually can think of such implementations, such initiations, and all. And at the same time, you need cost also. Okay, so I think marketing, advertising, all these are part of today's any sort of initiations if you look. So can you believe that what I think once you think that if such like Amazon, Flipkart, or any sort of these days so many are there, they are delivering your product at your home and that you are returning once, twice, thrice also, complaining about the defect in the particular product, and they are doing it with the same price. With the same price. Always remember. That means what about the cost, which is transportation cost involved in that product itself, which is actually coming to you in two iterations or three iterations. That means the businesses were actually framed in a manner that actually take care of all these. This is happening because of technology involvement. We are doing all we can buy everything online, we can track everything online, we can do all the you can say actions which is online and all these involvement, and everything is tracked, that you all any sort of actions which is related to a particular product or order is actually tagged and tracked by the system. So there is a fault or there is a problem within this process is almost negligible. So this is what you can say uh, when you can do with utilizing the technology as a whole. to its maximum. Okay.
Definitely, sir. Advancements in technology, along with brilliant marketing, has increased user experience and human lifestyle in today's
Yeah,
world.
yeah, yeah.
So, you also
Even
mentored. Yes,
like
sir.
in today's, you can see that I think you are in class 11. So
Yes,
what you are doing is right now is this in COVID era. This entire education becomes online education these days. Hmm? Uh, since I am also in the profession of education, so when the first instance when we have thought of this online classes, online examination, and all, there was hue and cry in that. There was always discussion that what will happen to the evaluation? Will it be uh, fine or justifiable? Because there is always scope of uh, say forgery as well. Okay, that what is the authenticity that our students are doing the classes or our students are doing is involved in evaluations and all. If you look for, if you go for video based evaluations, will it be possible that students who is actually from a remote area places can do that, will facilitate that? Because institute like us is having students from all the area across. We are having students from Andaman also, we are having students from coastal area also, we are having students from northeast also. We are actually in all the places the network connectivity and everything is not uniform. So there was some sort of discussion and all. Then we have started with a doubt that whether we could do it or not. And see, I do not know whether it can be a positive side of this COVID or not, but this is one thing which is positive for us, which we can actually go ahead with the this particular COVID era, that we actually come up with the online platform and online educations, and I think we are doing it efficiently, and everybody is cooperating, even students, teachers, administrations, everybody is doing it. So that is
definitely,
what.
sir.
Okay.
There are both pros and cons of this particular pandemic. Even we are able to integrate various technological platforms with our studies, making it more efficient.
Yeah, yeah,
So you also mentored a startup called Social Vaidya Medical,
yeah.
which is an online gateway to provide healthcare services and medical products at your doorstep. It is
Mhm.
certainly a revolutionary idea that can change the whole field of services provided in healthcare. So,
Yeah.
what are the major challenges that you faced during building the startup, and how did you actually tackle them?
Okay. Uh, Actually, this startup was initiated by one of my student who is actually alumni of the Triple IT Allahabad. Okay. So, and he was based in Bihar. Okay. There is a place known as Siwan in Bihar. So he has started the initiation there itself. There are a lot of challenges. I think probably challenges which they have faced is the acceptance. Okay. Uh, I think these days a lot of initiatives coming to the customer, and very hard to make them to accept it first, because lot many options are available in market, lot many things are available, and also the technology, people are not relying on the, like the people from city, the entirely, if you look on the whole bunch of customers might not rely on the technology also, because they, even if in today's world also, you know that electricity bill I can pay online, but still I'm going and I'm just standing in the queue for paying the bill. So people are still doing that. So in that, like since the scenario is like that, that they have started it, they have actually clubbed two three started with two three medicine shops, then two three clinics, and they have actually created a sort of, you can say, bridge between them, and they have actually done some sort of counseling also on the clinics to the customers, or I can say the patients, to accept this particular initiative. And slowly, initially, they struggled a lot. I think you won't believe that in first 6 months, not a single customer joined that particular platform. Okay, but they did not stop out there. They tried it a lot, and then finally, some of the doctors actually convinced, and they have actually convinced the patients also to join that, and then slowly it actually came in as a, so you can say, as far as existence is concerned. And after just like once the customer start getting the advantage of those that particular platform, slowly it gets noted by, or by so many others also, and then they have actually come up with a good customer base after 1 year. And let me tell you one thing, that the social Vedya very soon will be launched in Delhi city also. They are trying for that. Due to this corona, actually the things were actually delayed. I think probably they are working still in that section. So probably they are looking for 2 cities now, because they have successfully implemented in Sivan. Now they are trying to implement it in Allahabad and Delhi. There are 2 cities they are focusing, because the, you can say, as far as partners are there, a few partners are from Allahabad, few partners are from Delhi. So we are looking forward for implementation. And probably that actually what the advantage of this particular app is that you get medicines, you get test results, we connect you with the test centers very easily. We also give you the offers and uh, some comparative, you can say, test costs also, where actually you can go and you can see and you can get advantage of it. So those things are going on. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. That was definitely a very enriching experience for our team and will help us in the future, not only in this competition, but also beyond that when we're working in different organizations ourselves. Today, we Indians are talking about our country emerging as a superpower and restoring its historical position of the Vishwaguru, and information technology will definitely have a major role to play in it. So thank you so much for being with us today. It was such a great experience to interact with you, and the answers you gave were so elaborate that it really helped us understand the concepts in a much better manner. So thank you so much, sir.